Hello and a very happy 2020, but I'd like to kick off this year by talking about just a few of my favourite things from 2019 that have helped and inspired me, starting with this book. It's Adam Savage's Every Tool's a Hammer. Now, a lot of you out there might know Adam Savage from his work on Mythbusters, and a lot more of you might also know him from his work on YouTube, in particular his channel Tested, which he presents and produces. Adam is basically the Uber maker, and this book is really inspiring for makers of all kinds. And I've started to incorporate some of the tips and tricks in this book into my work already, including the way I make my to-do lists. So in particular, do check out that chapter if you purchase this book. Next, we have something really cheap but really valuable, and that is a top handle. Now, I bought this for my GH5 a couple of months ago, and I've enjoyed using it every single day because I'm able to get some low down shots with it. I don't have to contort my hands into all kinds of odd shapes and poses in order to get low down shots, and also it just makes you and your camera see the world in a different perspective. Now, it's not specifically for my GH5, it's just a very cheap generic top handle, and there are lots of makes and models out there, but I definitely recommend, if you don't want to go the full hog and buy an entire cage for your camera yet and you feel you just need a bit more practice, then why not pick up one of these little bad boys. You'll really enjoy using it and the new perspective that you get on taking shots. Now, I've got a quick confession to make, which is that I am a card-carrying geek. I love Star Trek, I love Doctor Who, and when I was a child, I saw a movie that had a very strong influence on me indeed, and that was Walt Disney's The Black Hole. In particular, I loved the design of this movie, and I really loved the design of the robots. I don't think I've ever seen anything like it before or since, and my all-time favourite bad guy robot has to be Maximilian. Anyway, last summer I managed to finally track down an MPC model kit of Maximilian, and I spent a few weekends putting it together throughout the summer, and it was very distracting and very nice to do, and I was a child again for a couple of Saturdays and Sundays, and it was like a meditation. I try not to have any geek items in my workspace because I find it a bit too distracting. I'm a bit too tempted to play with them, but now Maximilian takes pride of place on my shelves just behind me. Next, we have a studio light, and in this case it's the SL60 from Godox. I bought this light primarily because it's cheap. It's about a fifth the cost of a similar light like the 120D from Aperture, and indeed lots of people are saying that this light is the 120D killer. It would be really unfair of me to say that, as I've never owned a 120D and so don't have anything to compare it with. But where this light does tend to be an Aperture 120D killer is in terms of price. I picked this up for £125, and an Aperture 120D Mark II at the moment on Amazon will set you back £780, and I just couldn't justify paying that much for a studio light at the moment. And finally, my top favourite thing of 2019 has to be the camera that I'm shooting this on now. It's the Panasonic GH5, and there's a video down below which tells you all about why I chose this camera over staying with Canon cameras back in 2019. That's it for this week, guys. I hope to go forward in 2020 shooting a lot more on my Panasonic GH5. I hope you've enjoyed this little fun video to start off the year, and I'll see you again very soon. Thanks a lot. Bye bye.